to stop the chat because I see that we have quite a few coming in, and I see that Jeanette and Christina have been doing a wonderful job answering them. Let's see here. Let's see here. I see that we have a question I'm being directed to. Let me see. So, Lady Beth is asking, are owners charged now for agents not attending certification? That's a great question, Lady Beth. So, the answer to that is not for all opportunities. There are a couple opportunities where there are chargebacks in that case because agents are taking seats and they are not, they're not going to service, things like that. So there are certain instances, you'll have to check the opportunity announcement for what those are, but there are certain instances where that is taking place. All right, let me just go through. Okay, I see that Jeanette and Christine are doing a great job in answering the questions. It looks like there are a couple others that they're having a little bit of trouble with. Are there fees to the company if an agent takes a course and then does not work? That I am unsure of if that is the case. That's something that we would have to look into. What I will tell you is that if that is the case, it is listed in the opportunity announcement. So make sure you read those closely, and we'll tell you a little bit more later on about what the opportunity announcements are. Okay. Shauna DeYoung asks, once the contract has ended, if we want to re-enroll again for that company, will we have to pay for another certification course? It depends on the situation, Shauna, but most times, yes. Most times, yes, you would have to pay again, okay? Someone's asking, my agent can be active in multiple contracts, they need to pay a fee as well. The answer to that is yes. Anytime an agent enrolls in an opportunity, they have to pay for that single opportunity course is what it is. However, they are welcome to service as many opportunities as they want. For instance, if they want to do Carnival in the morning and Intuit in the afternoon, that is perfectly fine. The one rule is they cannot service the exact same time. So they cannot service Carnival from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. in the morning and Intuit from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. They have to be dedicated during that individual time to that group is what it is. Okay. Sonia Jenkins asks, how do you know how much you're getting paid from a certain client? Great question. So all company owners are delivered revenue information through their opportunity announcements. If you're not a company owner, you will have to talk with the owner of your company as they will let you know how much revenue is delivered to you, okay? They will let you know that. It is up to company owners to decide how much agents in their companies get paid. Okay, it is not up to Arise. Arise only offers revenue directly to a call center company, and that call center company decides how much each individual agent gets paid. Okay. Edwina asks, can somebody give me the number to enrollment chat? Great question, Edwina. We do not have phone numbers. There are just too many of you and too few of us. So we do everything through chat is what it is. So you will have to stick with chat. We will make sure later on in the presentation as we go through the support components that we discuss that in full. Folks, I have spent so much time talking about just this stuff and going through a lot of questions already. I am neglecting going through the rest of this presentation. There's so much more to go through. So let's do that. Christine and Jeanette, if you could tend to the remainder of the questions that are in the chat, it would be greatly appreciated. So if you haven't already done so, we know a lot of people are using the website arise.com. Stop doing that immediately. Do not use that website. That website is not helpful to you. That website was designed for clients. It is client facing. The website that is helpful to all of you is ariseworkfromhome.com, this website that you're seeing here on the site. It is ariseworkfromhome.com, and Jeanette just put that in the chat box so you can easily pick that up. Here you're going to find everything that you need in terms of resource support, okay? You're going to find platform resources, registration office hours, support contacts, new user platform guidance, customer service tips, all sorts of stuff there. Registering as an agent, what you need to know there. Getting started, things related to costs, equipment, frequently asked questions, all that stuff. And then also, this is where you can log into the platform. So please, please, please write this down, take a screenshot, do what you need to do. Make sure moving forward you only use the website ariseworkfromhome.com. That's what's going to be most helpful to all of you. Now, what can you find there precisely? Now, when you click on the Getting Started tab, this is all great info to start with, okay? You're going to have everything related to costs, equipment requirements, agreements and paperwork, certification courses, servicing, getting paid, frequently asked questions, nearly everything that I'm going through in this presentation, you're going to be able to find here. So make sure you click on that Getting Started tab because you're going to have a lot of information there. You're also going to find details related to Arise Registration Live Chat. So if you're growing your company, you're getting agents to join your company, they have questions regarding registration, you can have them go to that live chat is what it is. The next tab is Platform Resources. Folks, this is incredible. Here you're going to find everything related to support contacts, your virtual office hours, your new user platform guides, client opportunities, things that are going to help you as small business owners, some small business tips, as well as customer service tips. These are all going to be really, really helpful to you. So make sure you go to the platform resources area and download all these guides. Click on all the links. That's going to help bring a lot of comfort to you in terms of where do I go, what do I do to find this information. The other thing is that we want to point you to is our social media. Folks, Arise is incredibly active on social media. We're constantly answering questions. We're constantly providing information through social media. If you haven't already done so, make sure you check out our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/thinkoutsidetheoffice. But if you can't remember that, you can also go back to the site ariseworkfromhome.com and you'll see all of these social media icons there. Click on them: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Google+. Guys, YouTube is amazing. If you have not gone to our YouTube channel, check it out. There are a ton of super helpful videos that are there, all about enrollment, all about registration. There are commercials. There's cool stuff related to, our recent feature on the Reel. There's cool stuff related to other media things that we've done. There's all sorts of great things that you want to check out by going to our YouTube channel. So make sure you take the time to click on the YouTube button on ariseworkfromhome.com. Scroll through all the stuff that's there because, again, it's going to be incredibly helpful to you. The portal, obviously, this in some ways is going to be your best friend when it comes to using the Arise platform. You're going to log in using your username and your password. If you do not remember your password for whatever reason, you can click on the Forgot Password button. Let me show that to you right now. It is right here on this slide, okay? Forgot password. You click there, you will be redirected and you will be able to get your password, okay? Once you are in the portal, there's tons of great things here that you should be taking advantage all the time. You have your navigation bar that is right here on the left-hand side. You're going to find all of the available opportunities here in the middle. Anytime you need support, anytime you have a question, you're going to click here and you're going to go to support. Your profile information, I cannot tell you how important it is to make sure that your profile is up to date at all times. Make sure that you go in, if you move, if you change your phone number, anything like that, that you go into the profile tab there and you change it, you update it. And then quite often we put all sorts of important messages in this breaking news section. So make sure every time you go into the portal that you pay attention to what's in that breaking news section, because it is going to change on a regular basis. For those of you that are growing your companies and are going to have multiple agents that are working for your companies, you're going to want to check out this CSPs tab. Here you're going to find all the information related to each of the individual agents that are in your company. CSP stands for Client Support Professional. It is Arise's fancy way of saying agents. Again, that's Client Support Professional, CSPs. And so you'll find this list of CSPs and you will find all of their metrics here, okay? Everything related to that commitment adherence that we were talking about earlier, their service time, things like that. Everything that you need to know is going to be found here in this tab. The next tab in the portal is related to documents. In this documents tab, again, this is going to be more important if you're a company owner, where you're going to find things related to business agreements, the statements of work, rosters, tax documents, your non-disclosure agreements, and your waivers. All those types of things are going to be found in that documents tab. Reference tab. Folks, this is going to be one of the most critical tabs that you will have. You will only have access to this once you enroll in an opportunity. You will then have access to what's called the Knowledge Zone. There's a lot of shared information here. We're going to tell you a little bit more about Knowledge Zone later on. After that, you will also have access to what's called Crowd Hub. And again, we're going to share with you what Crowd Hub is all about. So sit tight until then. But I want you to know, very important, probably of these tabs that are all listed here, Home, CSPs, Documents, Reference, and Starmatic, the Reference tab is truly going to be one of the most critical for you. So make sure you remember that and check it out on a regular basis. And then lastly is Starmatic. This is going to be the tab where you schedule your service intervals. You will not have access to this until you have completed your certification course, is what it is. So if you don't see anything there now, that's normal, that's acceptable. It's because you have not completed your certification course. So with that, I would like to give you opportunity to ask questions in relation to everything that we just reviewed going through the portal, Arise, work from home, things like that. If you have any questions related to enrollment or servicing, please hold those questions until later on, because we are going to go through those types of things in a little bit. I see Sandra Mims, you have your hand raised. If you do have a question, please make sure you put it in the chat. O'Neill, also I see folks that are raising their hands. If you have any questions, unfortunately we cannot enable microphones for this particular session. If you have questions, please make sure you put it in the room tab of the chat. Joanne Z, will there be another opportunity mall soon to learn more about the various clients? You know, Joanne, we are starting to piece together our next opportunity mall. It's probably not going to be for like another month anyway, but we will have them. We do have them periodically, and they help highlight all the different client opportunities. With that said, most of the opportunities have information sessions that go on a regular basis that you can attend to learn all about those individual opportunities. Keep an eye out on your email. You should be invited to those opportunity information sessions. So Tony asks, me and my wife are co-owners of the company, but she registered a CSP and I didn't. Do I have to register also? No, Tony, you do not. That is not a requirement. Okay. Freddie asks, are you able to select your time in Starmatic? That's exactly where you're going to select your time, your service time, Freddie, but we're going to go through that a little bit later, so sit tight until that time. Kayla, great question. Should you log in from the Arise Work From Home site or the portal link? So let me show you the difference. You can log in through either. If you go through ariseworkfromhome.com and you click on this platform login, all that's going to do is it's going to take you to that portal link. The portal link is portal.arise.com. It is up to you how you want to access it, either way. So now we're going to go through all the Startmatic info later on in the presentation. Okay. And then that asks, are there any reports to monitor? We'll go through that a little bit later in the presentation as well. Holly says, asked just to clarify, CSPs can service as many clients, have as many SOWs as they want, as long as they're servicing them and meeting the SOW agreement. That is correct, Holly. You are correct in that statement. Which of the sales opportunities would you recommend? I want the more lucrative sales opportunity, but I don't know which one to sign up for. O'Neill, we are not at liberty to recommend any opportunities for you. That's the beauty of this. We lay them out for you. We give you all the information through the opportunity announcements and things like that. We do not provide any suggestions as to which one you go into because you know yourself best. You know what's going to be the right fit for you. So we suggest that you look into those. Do the agents I hire have to pay for the courses as well? Well, Willis Arise doesn't pay for them, so it's either up to you, Willis Print Media, to pay for those agents in those certification classes, or it is up to the agents themselves. That's up to you what you want to do there. But yes, everyone has to pay for the certification course. See here, I asked my class to the Arise portal. Are we now supposed to go through Arise Work From Home? That's come up to you, Loretta. You do not have to go through ariseworkfromhome.com. It just reaches the same thing, the same portal site. Tony, yes, you can represent the company on your wife's behalf, so long as you are both listed as co-principals in the Arise network. Okay, you would both have to be listed that way. Let's see here. So Angela asks, if you are registered as a CSP and would like to become an IBO and are currently scheduled for training, can we change to an IBO before we start or while we are in training? That's completely up to you, Angela. We do not offer any advice either way. That is completely up to you. If you want to start your own company or move to a different company that is acceptable by Arise policy. However, you in order to switch to a different company that you do not start, you have to be released from your company, your current company prior. If you're starting your own company, you don't have to worry about that. If we are registered with a company and there are no materials under registration tab, does that mean that they have no required pre-work? Julia, we're going to talk about pre-work and things like that a little bit later on, so sit tight until then. Can you finish an opportunity earlier, or do you have to finish at that time? So I don't know what you mean. If you mean by the certification, everything is done. If you're talking about certification and going through the certification class, we'll talk through that a little bit later, but you cannot finish a certification class early. It doesn't work that way. It's not 100% self-paced. Freddie is asking about cost of class. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on. Sit tight until then. All right, folks, I'm going to stop the chat. I'm going to let my amazing colleagues, Christine and Jeanette, answer the remaining of the questions in chat. Okay. Please sit tight and pay attention to the chat as they will be answering your questions as I continue the presentation. If you are asking your questions to the moderators only, please refrain from doing that. Please make sure that you ask your questions in the room tab once the room is open, is what it is. We will not be answering questions that are sent to moderators only, so please sit tight with that. All right, let's skip to expressing interest and enrolling. So, in terms of expressing interest and enrolling, as we mentioned before, you're going to start by logging into the portal. by going to portal.arise.com. Again, if you ever lose that bookmark for some reason, you can go to ariseworkfromhome.com and click on portal login. It'll take you right to the site. It is not required that you do that, as we mentioned before, but you definitely want to get to this site, portal.arise.com. You log in there. Again, if you forgot your password, you click right here, forgot password for whatever reason. When you come in, you're going to see the opportunity grid. You're going to see all these amazing opportunities, not just Carnival, not just Comcast, not just Interval, but so many more. There are lots of opportunities that come and go on the portal. Now, I will tell you, a lot of folks say to me, Erica, I only see 3 things on the portal. That's because those are the only things that are available at that time. Opportunities open and close all the time. If you wait a week, if you wait a day and you come back the next day, there might be new opportunities that are posted. If you come back a week, there could be more opportunities that are posted. They change all the time. The ones that are on the portal are the ones that everyone sees. Every single agent that registers to use the Arise portal, they have access to the exact same opportunities. They are first come, first serve. If there's something that you're interested in, for instance, as you can see here, there's Carnival, Comcast, and Interval that are listed here, but you don't see Road America, but you're interested in Road America. Sit tight. Road America could come back another day or another week, something like that. You just have to keep checking the portal for the opportunity that interests you most. The one important thing that you want to do, and I want you to promise me that you're going to do it every single time. Anytime you are interested in an opportunity, you are going to click on this little eye icon that is above the select button. That is I for information. There you are going to get all the information related to that particular opportunity, including the opportunity announcement. Again, it looks like this blue eye here. You want to definitely make sure you click on that. The opportunity announcement is a document that you will receive that shows everything related to the opportunity. This here is what we refer to as opportunity at a glance. It is a single page that gives you the general overview, just the general overview of what you can expect in terms of this particular opportunity. It'll include the service intervals that are available, the equipment that you absolutely must need, and a certification overview. It'll also give you some other fine print details. However, it is so important that you look at the entirety of the opportunity announcement to know all the details. If you are a company owner, your opportunity at a glance will look a little bit different than those that are just agents. If you're a company owner, you will receive an opportunity announcement that has service revenue. So you will know exactly how much revenue agents can earn by servicing the opportunity. Make sure you look at it closely. It is up to you as company owners to decide how much your agents get paid. Arise does not dictate that. Agents, it is up to you to talk with your company owners to negotiate and make sure you're comfortable with the pay rate. This is what the full opportunity announcement may look like. You're going to see a lot of information. You're going to see a general client overview. This can tell you all about the particular client. You're also going to have an opportunity summary, is what it is. That'll give you some basic information as to what you can expect on a regular basis. What to expect. This is going to be your details, what those calls are going to be like every single day. You're also going to have everything related to certification course, what you can expect, what's going to be needed in terms of that pre-work. Some of you were asking about pre-work earlier. Here in the opportunity announcement, you're going to see what that pre-work is going to be and when you can expect to receive it. Most pre-work is issued between 3 to 5 days before the course begins. So if you enroll in an opportunity 3 or 4 weeks before that actual course begins, you're not going to see that pre-work. If there is pre-work, not all classes have pre-work, you're not going to see it until about 3 to 5 days before. And you will get notification as to what that is. You'll get an email. It'll tell you everything there. But you will know from this opportunity announcement if that's going to be expected. You will also have details related to program equipment requirements. You're going to have a general overview. Folks, there will also be a hyperlink to the system and equipment policy document. That's going to give you all the details as to what is going to be needed in terms of systems. An important tip for all of you: make sure you take the opportunity announcement as well as the system and equipment policy guide and compare it to your computer and phone equipment guides. Make sure that you check off all the boxes and that you have everything that's needed. Otherwise, you will not, repeat, you will not be able to service the opportunity because you will not have the right equipment in place. That is absolutely critical that you make sure that you do that. In terms of metrics, you will learn through the opportunity announcement everything that is going to be required of you in order to reach certain metric levels. That's again to make sure that that statement of work is issued time and time again after that 90-day period. You want to make sure that you're meeting all of those requirements. And then lastly, you're going to find a section called disqualifiers. There are certain clients in the Arise network that have certain rules about who can service their opportunity. For instance, interval. You cannot, for many of the interval international opportunities, you cannot be from Florida. You cannot live in Florida to service. For Comcast, you cannot work for another cable or wireless industry provider and do that. So there are lots of disqualifiers that you want to check out and make sure that you understand and comply with. The other thing is, before you choose an opportunity, you want to make sure that it is absolutely the right fit, because frankly, only those who are successful can earn revenue. You want to be successful right from the start. As I mentioned before, you want to review the details of the opportunity announcement. Folks, it's critical. Take time to review and read every single page. Ask questions as needed. That's what enrollment support is there for. Also, for the majority of opportunities, there are information sessions. We strongly encourage you to attend information sessions when they are available. That way you can ask questions and really have firm understanding of what that opportunity is all about. The next thing is, as you read the opportunity announcement and any supporting documentation, you need to make sure that you meet every single last requirement. Not 99% of the requirements, 100% of the requirements. Otherwise, you may not be successful. That is a strong possibility. You have to make sure that you meet all the stated qualifications. You have to make sure that you can attend 100% of the certification course. Really, really. There are times when they make exceptions, but if you miss a certain amount of the course, you will not be able to continue. You will not get your money refunded. On top of which, you should know that you cannot course hop, meaning if you sign up for a class at, say, 9 o'clock in the morning, and there's another one that's offered at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, if you sign up for the 9 a.m. class, that's it. The entire duration of the class, you have to be there at 9 o'clock in the morning. You cannot say, oh, I have a doctor's appointment one day at 9 o'clock, so I'm going to try to make that 3 o'clock class. You're not allowed to do that. You have to make sure that you attend 100% of the class that you register for at the time that you register for it. Okay? And then also you have to make sure that you have all the necessary equipment. What we also suggest to help make sure that the opportunity really is the right fit is that you confirm that fit with the company owner or trusted advisor. Obviously, if you are the owner of a company, you're sort of a one-to-one company and you don't have anyone that you're reporting up to, it's great to talk to someone who's a trusted advisor. Really get an outsider's opinion to make sure you will be successful. Show them the opportunity announcement, review it together. Let them know that you would like their opinion as to whether or not you would be the right fit. Also, reach out to others who may already be servicing. There are lots of folks that post on Facebook to all of the comments and things like that we have that are saying, I've been servicing this client opportunity, I love it, and things like that. Reach out to them, say, what do you love about it, and talk with them. Find out from them, based on their experience, if you really are a right fit. Once you express interest in an opportunity, meaning once you choose that class time, and you commit to taking assessments, there's one step before you are completely enrolled. That is completing the assessments. That might include a voice assessment. It might also include a secondary background check or a drug test or something on those lines. Not all opportunities will require that secondary background check or drug screening, but many of them do, so pay close attention to what that is. We're going to talk to you a little bit more about those assessments later on, so if you have questions about those assessments, please hold them because we're going to go through them right now. Sorry, I thought they were a little bit later in the presentation. I forgot that they come up so soon. In terms of the affidavit, a lot of you will see in the opportunity announcement that you must submit an affidavit. This is a security check for everyone. What you have to do is you have to sign the affidavit and have it notarized by someone that is not related to you or someone that is in your business, anything like that. It shows that you are the person you say you are. If you have any questions about the affidavit process, you have to go to Arise Affidavit of Identification at arise.com. It's on the screen here. Jeanette or Christine, if you could put it in the chat. Again, that's Arise Affidavit of Identification at arise.com. That's where your questions go in relation to affidavits. That's where you submit your form as well. Folks, what we find is that there are some common reasons why the affidavit is declined. It tends to be blurry, or the photo ID, it could be blurry. It's a fax submission. It needs to be an emailed submission to that Arise Affidavit of Identification at arise.com email address. It could be an incomplete affidavit, meaning it wasn't notarized, it wasn't dated, it wasn't signed, something like that. You need to make sure that it is fully complete. The ID or form got cut off for some reason, or it was notarized by an IBO or independent business owner or company owner or family member is what it is. It has to be notarized by an independent body. An agent cannot certify if the affidavit is not received by the due date. If you're already enrolled, the agent may be dropped from the certification course if that affidavit is not received. So please make sure you do it. In terms of the secondary background check, that really depends on the program and what is needed. With that, the agent may have to complete a background check with different requirements than the initial, or it might also include a drug screen. These cannot be disputed with Arise. There's no one at Arise that you can reach out to and say, hey, I have an issue with my background check. What you need to do is you need to contact the background check vendor, which is First Advantage. That vendor will provide the form and process for dispute. If you do not pass the secondary background check, you will not be allowed to continue on. The next assessment is the voice assessment. You will need your telephone for this. It takes about 10 minutes to complete the voice assessment. You can stop and return if needed. That's perfectly fine. You do need a quiet environment with quality phone and phone line. It is important that you have great vocal presentation. Just as I'm speaking with you now, I'm doing my best to speak very clearly, articulately, and slowly. That was awfully ironic that I couldn't pronounce articulate. But yes, you want to make sure you are as clear as possible in your voice presentation and that you follow all the directions as needed. Pay close attention to the directions so that you don't skip ahead or that you don't mess up that voice assessment. If for some reason you feel that that you didn't pass the voice assessment for inadequate reasons, like maybe the phone dropped or the equipment wasn't working, something like that, you can dispute it. You need to reach out to the enrollment team. They will listen to the call and determine whether or not an override assessment reset is needed. However, if a voice assessment is failed, they will not be allowed to continue in that opportunity. There may also be certain program assessments, things related to chat or email. For that, you would need a keyboard and monitor. It takes about 30 minutes to complete. You can stop and return if needed. Again, we strongly suggest that you have a quiet environment. And again, make sure to read all questions in detail and that you are responding to those questions accurately. If for some reason that assessment is not passed, it might be possible to dispute it. It really depends on the situation. The enrollment team will review the assessment to determine whether or not the override is merited. However, if that program assessment is not passed, the agent will not be allowed to continue. Once the assessments are complete, you will be able to fully enroll in the opportunity. You will do that by going back to the main grid and clicking on the Select button. You'll click on the View Class Times button and you will choose the class time that is most convenient for you. All the class times are listed in Eastern Standard Time. Please remember that, especially those of you that live outside of the Eastern Standard Time zone. Once you have chosen a specific course time, you will be committed to it. I mentioned that before, so make sure you choose that wisely. After that, you'll select the desired course schedule by clicking Enroll Now. It's a button that looks just like this orange one that's on the screen here. Once that's complete, you'll receive notification on the Arise portal preparing you for your next steps. Folks, that is the enrollment process, everything related to enrollment. We will talk about certification. We will talk about metrics and servicing coming up. So if you have any questions related to those things, please hold them. However, if you have any questions related to what we just reviewed related to enrollment, the chat is now open. Edwina, I see you're asking questions directly to a moderator. Please make sure you're putting it in the Room tab. With that, I can see you posted, I took the assessment and passed, but I keep getting an email saying I need to take the assessment. I went to AVA support and they told me to go to a chat session. I'm even fully enrolled in the class. I'm enrolled, so what is happening? You know, Edwina, that's a great question. Unfortunately, I don't know. We would have to look specifically at your profile. So you do need to contact enrollment chat. We're going to explain to you later on how to access that. So sit tight until that time. Okay. Let's see here.
Hi, Erica. It's Ozzy. How are you?
Ozzy, our enrollment specialist to the superstars. Folks, if Beyonce and Jay-Z were enrolling in an opportunity using the Arise platform, Ozzy would be the one to deliver that white glove service to help Beyonce and Jay-Z. So, unfortunately, Beyonce and Jay-Z do not want to service using the Arise platform. I can't imagine why. But Ozzy, please help these folks. Tell them what we're missing here.
Yeah, I didn't want to deliver their twins either, so that was a good thing. I'm seeing. I need to put on my glasses. Carla, in reference to the NMO opportunity, anything that's restricted or any information pertaining to a state that's not allowed within that opportunity is always in the opportunity announcement. If you actually got through the enrollment process, you shouldn't have a problem. I just would need your agent ID in order for me to look at that profile so that I can inform you better. But if usually there's a restriction with a specific opportunity, it is also built into the enrollment template where it checks your address and it makes sure that it won't let you through, so that your time is not wasted and that you don't go through a process that it's not related to you. So I don't know exactly which interval you're referring to. If you can type in your ID on there, I'll be able to look it up while we're having this conversation here, and then we can move forward. I was just curious with your question, so I just want to make sure that I assist you at this point. Let's see the next one. What happens if you express interest in the course but don't meet all the requirements? Again, as Erica mentioned, if you don't meet all the requirements, you will not be able to proceed within the enrollment process of that opportunity. You're more than welcome to selecting another opportunity, whether it is your technical requirements that are not meeting the specs of the program. You can always select another opportunity. Keep in mind that every single program has different requirements, tech requirements, program assessment requirements. Like Erica mentioned again, the secondary background check only applies to certain programs, and we let you know up front whether or not a secondary background check or a drug screening is required. So it's a surprise. So once you read the opportunity announcement, which is extremely important that you read every single page of the opportunity announcement, that's the only way you're going to be able to identify and inform yourself of everything that's required. So if it doesn't meet, once you go through the PC check, it'll check your machine to make sure that you have all the equipment that's required, and it'll tell you where you passed or you failed, and it gives you the opportunity to rectify. For example, if you need a secondary monitor, if you need more RAM on your computer, it'll do that. You won't be canceled from the opportunity. It'll just say retry, and then if you upgrade your unit and the opportunity is still open, you're able to retest it, and if you pass, you move on to the next step in the enrollment process. So that's something that could be addressed right up front without a problem. Well, the servicing times will also be Eastern Standard Time. That is correct. ARISE functions under the Eastern Standard Time zone. Is the initial assessment able to be opened back up? I'm not quite understanding what that means. If you failed it or if you got removed for not completing it within sufficient time, you can always come back to the enrollment chat and they'll roll you back in if the opportunity is still available, and then you can proceed. Once you express interest, you have to make sure that you start the process right away. These classes fill up so quickly, it's amazing. There's thousands of agents and call center owners that are actually waiting for these opportunities to come on board. So they take immediate action and they just log on and they complete the process, and within a matter of seconds you come back and you're like, wait a minute, my 9 a.m. class was open and now it's no longer available. And once the class fills up, we only have a certain amount of seats available. Moving on to the next question. If I was enrolled previously in an opportunity, will I need to go through this step again? The step again is the part that catches me here. You will always have to go through an assessment for every single program. If you've completed the enrollment voice assessment within the last 6 months and you've passed it, you will not need to complete the voice assessment itself. But there probably is a pre-enrollment assessment with TXU, with Comcast, and with Intuit. Those are the ones that have pre-assessments, but the other ones have other assessments that it will be presented to you. No certification core costs are transferable. Okay, that's just, where's the affidavit form located? This information is made available. It's on the opportunity announcement. If you scroll through the opportunity announcement, it gives you all that information. We will also paste the email address and the location. If you have done or completed the opportunity the background affidavit form once within the last couple of months, you will not have to complete it again. If you're unsure if there's one on file or not, you can always reach the affidavit department via email, and they'll tell you whether or not you need to submit a new one.
Hey, Ozzy?
Yes.
I'm so sorry. Listen, we have plenty more of this session that we need to go through, so I'm going to ask you to respond to questions in chat.
Perfect.
This time I'm going to turn off the chat. If you could work with the rest of the team to respond to questions in chat, we're going to go through the certification and knowledge management section.
Perfect. Good.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank
Ozzy.
you. You're welcome.
All right. So in terms of certification, a lot of people ask, Erica, why do I have to pay to work? Like, why do I have to do this? I get that question all the time. Folks, I want you to understand that certification is an investment opportunity. I want you to think of it a lot like medical school or law school. This helps prepare the learner to be a true professional. So think about a lawyer or a doctor that pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn how to be a good doctor or a lawyer. That's exactly what you're doing here, okay? You are learning how to be a true customer service representative servicing a particular client opportunity is what it is. So that's why you are investing in this. Classes do run from $19.99 to about $249. I know someone asked, why are there discrepancies in the cost? A lot of it has to do with supply and demand, honestly. There are some courses that are extremely popular, so we want to make sure that anyone who is taking that seat is going to be truly invested in taking that seat and not taking it away from someone else. So you are going to find certain classes that are going to be closer to $250. The other thing is it can be tied to the revenue. There are some opportunities that are going to offer a much higher amount of revenue in the end, and so that course might be more expensive because, again, anyone who's going to be earning that type of revenue, any company that's going to be earning that type of revenue, we want to make sure that they're serious about it and they're going to be invested in that and not taking that seat away from someone else. So that's why you're going to see those differentials in cost. A few pieces of general information for you. Most classes require a time commitment of about 4 hours in class per day. That's 5 days a week, as well as 2 hours of self-paced work or sort of homework, if you will, at the end of the day. The courses generally last between 4 to 6 weeks. There are some opportunities that offer fast-track certification options. You do have to check the portal, check that little I button like I told you before when you're looking at each opportunity to find out which ones offer that fast track if that's what you're interested in. The learners must pass all course requirements, including quizzes and exams, as stated in the opportunity announcement, in order to be certified and provide service. In terms of certification, immediately after course, I don't want to say immediately after course payment. I really need to change this slide because there are some people who register for a course and they have 3 weeks or 4 weeks before their class starts. So roughly 3 to 5 days before the course starts, so in that time frame, 3 to 5 days before, you should receive a welcome letter from the instructor that will have the instructor's name, the course date, the time of the course, any pre-work that is assigned. So those of you who are wondering about pre-work, that's when you'll find it. It is not going to be a link to download. That's how you're going to get it, as well as a document outlining how to access courses in Arise Learning Central. Okay. Folks, I see that there are people that are asking questions. Please hold your questions until the main chat is open instead of going to the moderators. We will open it again after this certification piece, so please sit tight until then. You will have to complete that pre-coursework. It is not applicable to all classes, only those that have it. Again, you want to check that opportunity announcement for additional details. Some courses do require some additional technology that Arise provides, mostly in the form of the Arise Secure Desktop. That is, again, not applicable to all classes. You want to make sure you check the opportunity announcement for details, but you will receive that, again, 3 to 5 days before the class starts. The one thing that you can do at the second you enroll in an opportunity, even if you are 3 weeks ahead of time, you can get a jump on things. You know, you can go and understand the client through independent research. Go to Wikipedia. You know, all of these client opportunities, they have their websites. They're big, big, big companies. So make sure you check them out. Check out all of their different sites, whether it be their individual websites, their Wikipedia sites, things like that. Because when you have that knowledge, you're going to connect with them better, and that will allow you to do even better in certification. And then you also want to network through social media. There are plenty of other agents that are servicing the opportunity. Reach out to them through Facebook or other sites and let them know that you're going to be servicing. Pick their brains a little bit. Make sure that you're ready to go. When you go into certification, when you go into the virtual classroom, it is very similar to the one that you're in now. It just has a little bit of a different look and feel. You're going to see all these different participants, which are actually cool for you because you can form relationships with these people. You can even form study buddies that can help you better learn along the way. It's going to be hugely interactive. You're going to have an amazing instructor. I myself, I am not a certified instructor by any means. I do not have much of a background in terms of instruction except for one teaching course that I took in college. Other than that, I am not much of an instructor, so you can only imagine how dynamic the true instructors are, especially if you're enjoying this session today. You will be much more engaged than you are today. You know, today we have to halt certain things, and you know, usually I like things much more engaging and lively and get people asking questions as I'm speaking. But unfortunately, because there's so much information, we can't do that. However, when you're in the live virtual classroom setting, you're going to have that opportunity. You're going to be able to ask questions as you go along, engage, a lot of emoticons. A lot of fun things, polls and questions and interactions of all different kinds. So you'll find that it really is engaging, really is almost entertaining, if you will. Far more, a lot of people tell me that they took online classes when they were in high school or college, or they even may have taken a certification class where it was just someone lecturing to them, not really engaging. This is far more engaging, and when you're engaged, you're much more inclined to learn. You also have the self-paced learning. This is going to be software that you're going to have access to where you're going to be able to go through things at your own pace. Again, a lot of polling, a lot of questions, things like that. A lot of ability to monitor your progress. That way, if you have any trouble in particular areas, you can come back to class and you can ask the instructor. You can say, hey, I had a little bit of difficulty in this particular area. Can you help me with it? You know, our goal is to make you as successful as possible. However, it is up to you. You need to be the one that's forthcoming. You're the one who has to do the work. You're the one who has to come to class, ask the questions, be engaged, do all those different things in order to be truly, truly successful. But we definitely want that for you. Here are some tips for success. That's how much we want it for you. Here are some of your tips. First, ensure the opportunity is the right fit. Just as I spoke with you before, make sure you're reviewing that opportunity announcement. Talk with servicing agents. Choose the right opportunity. Don't just choose it based on revenue, folks. You know, a lot of people choose an opportunity because it seemingly offers more revenue. What you don't know is a lot of opportunities offer incentives, additional incentives for performance. If you're choosing an opportunity that, say, pays or offers revenue at $13 an hour because, you know, that looks good compared to the one that's offering $10 an hour type thing, or I should say, you know, per interval or whatever, you're going to find that what's going to happen is, you know, you could be a lower performer and you're only making that $13. Whereas if you are a really amazing 3-star performer on that $10 one, You could end up making 14, 15, 16, who knows, depending on the incentives that are available. So pay attention to that and choose the one that you're going to be successful at, because in the end, you will make far more revenue that way. You also want to make sure that you confirm your course attendance prior to start date. If you have any sort of if you feel that you're going to drop, please try to do so at least 7 days before time. That way someone else can take that spot. You want to make sure you complete all your self-paced learning, help identify those strengths and weaknesses along the way. Stay engaged, folks. Those of you who are asking questions today and are engaged, you're really getting a lot more out of this session than those of you who are just sitting idly by and just being lectured to. So please make sure that you stay engaged and you participate as much as possible. You want to also make sure that you frequently communicate with instructors and what are referred to as QAPF resources. That's a little bit of a mouthful, but it stands for Quality Assurance Performance Facilitator Resources. These are sort of like your teacher's assistants or people that you can go to get advice on how to perform better is what you can do, and we have those available for you. Make sure you ask how you're doing, how you can improve, follow up on suggestions. You know, I always ask in my sessions, and at the end of the session, I would strongly encourage you to put in the chat how I did and what I can do better. You know, I want you to take that as an example and do the same thing as you're in certification. Ask, how am I doing? How can I do better? And lastly, find a study buddy, because anytime you're engaged and have someone to learn with, you're going to do that much better. So with that, we're going to open the chat for any questions related to certification. Again, please just ask questions related to certification. If Tracy King is asking, if an agent has completed a certification and has began providing service, will that agent ever have to get recertified for that course or client? So long as they continue servicing that client opportunity, they will not have to recertify. There might be some things related to upskills and things like that that might be impactful, but in general, no. They will not have to recertify. Only if they take time away from servicing, might be 3 months or something, you know, things can change a lot in that time, then they might have to recertify. Can you take your computer in training and work away from home at any time? Absolutely. You sure can. That's the beauty of using this. You know, a lot of people ask, can I work while I'm on vacation? So long as you are servicing or so long as you're going on vacation in the 50 states, yes, that is perfectly fine. You can do that. Excellent. Okay, as additional questions come in, because we're running low on time, I want to talk a little bit about selecting intervals. A lot of you are asking questions related to that. So as I talk about selecting intervals, Christina and Jeanette and Ozzy, if you could respond to questions in the chat, that would be great. So folks, once you have enrolled in an opportunity and once you have completed certification, the very first thing you want to do is you want to check out this reference tab. You want to go to the knowledge zone. Here you're going to find lots of helpful information. It is particularly important because here you're going to find everything related to Starmatic 2.0. This is going to give you tutorials on how to choose service intervals. So again, you're going to go into the portal, you're going to click on this reference button, you're going to go to the knowledge zone, and you're going to look for the Starmatic 2.0 instruction and Starmatic 2.0 or introduction and Starmatic 2.0 schedule postings, and that will give you everything you need to know there about how to use Starmatic. Once you know how to use Starmatic, you'll click on the Starmatic tab in the portal, and you'll go in, and you will see something that pops up. It looks almost like a schedule in some ways, with little areas where you can put in tick boxes. That helps you. It looks a little bit more, I know it's teeny tiny, but it looks a little bit like this picture that you see here above the Starmatic 2.0 schedule. And you can see those gray boxes. That's where you would end up putting those tick boxes in. I don't want to give you too much because you're going to learn more by going to those Starmatic tutorials. But you'll go into Starmatic, you'll choose those service times. The next thing that we really want to make sure that you're aware of is commitment adherence. I spoke of that earlier in the presentation. It is so important that you choose service times that you can attend. Folks, you're going to be allowed to choose your service times as you want in 30-minute increments. For example, if you want to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and service from 6 to 6:30 or 6 to 7, then get the kids out of bed, get them rolling off to school, then come back and service for about 30 minutes, then leave, go off to the gym, go to the gym for about an hour and a half, come back and shower, then service for an hour, then maybe take a little lunch break, service for another 30 minutes to an hour, then maybe help the kids get off the school bus, give them snacks, service for an hour or so, get dinner ready, get the kids off to bed, and then service for another hour after that. You can have that type of schedule. That's perfectly fine. However, what we ask is that you really adhere to that schedule that you've chosen, because what happens is anytime you don't show up, you're taking time away from someone else, and even worse, you are allowing calls to be abandoned. So for those reasons, because you're taking those times away from someone else and those calls are being abandoned, that is reason for terminating the statement of work. So I cannot stress